Hey guys, Jenny Talks Toys back again with another video, and I know it has been forever since I've posted a video last, so it's good to see you guys again. It's 2020, the apocalypse is happening, a lot's changed in the world, so all joking aside, since there's actually a lot of time in quarantine time, I was hoping that I could get this channel revitalized and up and running again. Wouldn't that be something? So, I decided to do this video that I've been putting off for a long time, that I've always meant to do on this channel, which is to show off my Funko Pop collection. I'm not an avid pop collector, but I have collected a number of pops of characters that I like over the years and been gifted pops over the years that my collection has actually turned from something that was, you know, very modest into something that's pretty sizable now. You guys are witnessing a quick slideshow of my pops as they are currently displayed. I figure let's go through the collection. Starting the collection off, we have my two boxed figures. So I, generally speaking, as a collector, I am an out-of-box collector. I don't like to keep my figures in boxes because I tend to find that I enjoy them more and I can see them better when they're out of box. But for Funko Pops, I do understand why a lot of people keep them in box, and I think one thing that Funko does great as a company is it's a very collector-friendly company in general, but specifically the Pops. I just think the way they are designed is meant to be very collector-friendly. You can remove the figures from their boxes really easily without damaging the packaging. And, you know, the boxes themselves display the figures really well. These are the only two figures I've elected to keep in their boxes. There's no rhyme or reason as to why these two particular figures are in their boxes, but first we have Agretzko here. This is a Barnes & Noble exclusive. She is shining, shimmering, splendid. She's metallic. This is the Rage version. And on the back of the box, you can see for the Agretzko line, they have just other versions of Agretzko. This show is fantastic. Really glad to own, you know, something to commemorate that. Next up, we have Powerline from a Goofy movie, which is probably my all-time favorite movie. Like, for real, I really mean that. I just have a huge special and a soft spot in my heart for this movie. But it is a fantastic movie, even if you just take out the nostalgia factor. So, really happy that Funko did Powerline. Really glad to own this. This is a Hot Topic exclusive. I really wish they did other figures from a Goofy movie. I would collect, honestly, all of them. But regardless, we have a Powerline. So Powerline is fantastic. And yeah, there he is in all of his glory. So starting off my Disney collection, we have Isma, who is fabulous, looking wonderful. Isma is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Disney villain of all time. So when they released a pop of her, I knew I had to have her. I think she translated as a Funko Pop extremely well. I think she looks great. She's in her classic Empress getup with her feathers and her potion bottle, and she's just working the crowd, and she looks fantastic. Next up, we have Steamboat Willie. I am a Steamboat Willie collector. Steamboat Willie is probably my favorite iteration of Mickey Mouse. I just love the classic Mickey design. There's nothing particularly fancy or special about this pop. It's just classic Steamboat Willie, but he does look great. He comes with a steering wheel, of course, and you know, he's just in his classic little whistling Steamboat Willie steering the boat pose. Next up, we have Doug from Up. This is an older Funko Pop. He's really cute. He's just sitting on his back legs. He has his little collar and he's flocked. So that's one cool thing about this figure. He's really soft. I actually don't know what year this was released. Again, I believe it to be one of the older Disney Funkos. Next up, we have Elastigirl on her bike from Incredibles 2. So this is actually a pop ride. I loved the sequence in Incredibles 2. Clearly, Incredibles 1 is the superior movie, but this sequence was fantastic, and I am a huge Elastigirl fan. She's probably one of my favorite characters in the Incredibles franchise. Her and, of course, Edna. She looks great, and yeah, this is a cool figure. And last, but certainly not least, we have Buzz Lightyear as Mrs. Nesbit. Yeah, as soon as they released this Funko Pop, I knew I had to go out there and get it. I just knew I had to have it because this was one of the funniest jokes in the first Toy Story movie. And the whole Toy Story franchise is probably just one of my favorite Disney Pixar franchises in general. Buzz Lightyear's great, but this is awesome. I just couldn't believe that they released a Mrs. Nesbit. I just thought that was so funny. I had to have her. And, you know, she comes with her arm all disconnected. So moving on in the collection, we have some other animated franchise movies. We have Toothless from the How to Train Your Dragon movies. I've had this figure for a long time, and he's moved around with me to a bunch of different things, so from office to office and whatnot. So he's a little bit dinged up, which is kind of unfortunate, but, you know, just means, you know, he's seen a little bit of love in his lifetime. This Toothless looks great. This is, I think, from the second movie. That's why he has his little fin here that's, you know, the special one that Hiccup designed for him with his harness and everything. Yeah, but I love the How to Train Your Dragon franchise as well. But really, I ought to say the first movie, because the first movie is fantastic. Next up, we have the Iron Giant. This is actually from Ready Player One and not from, like, they didn't release an Iron Giant pop figure from the movie that I'm aware of. But the Iron Giant is one of my favorite animated movies. I just love that movie. So having a Funko Pop of the Iron Giant, regardless of whether it's from the Iron Giant movie itself or from Ready Player One, doesn't matter to me. Next up in the animated franchise series, we have a couple of animated TV show pops. We have Mr. Peanut Butter from BoJack Horseman. I have him and Princess Carolyn, and it is arguably one of the best animated television shows to have come out in so long. I just think it's an incredible, incredible series. We have Mr. Peanut Butter, who is my favorite character. I just think he's a perfect little cinnamon roll, and I had to own him. This Funko Pop gets it right, like down to everything. Like his details are really good on this figure. It has like his little bracelets and stuff, and the little stripe on his tracksuit pants, and yeah, just Mr. Peanut Butter doing his thing. Who's that dog? Mr. Peanut Butter. Next, we have Princess Carolyn, who is another one of my favorites from the show. They got the details pretty correct for Princess Carolyn as well. Yeah, look at how nice the print is on her dress, actually. That's pretty great. And it's tiny, it's hard to tell, but she is wearing her necklace, and she has her phone, and she's doing her thing. Next up, we have Fluttershy from My Little Pony. This is the only My Little Pony figure I own, unfortunately, and it did come this way in the box. I remember being bummed out about it when I first got this figure. She has like a big glob of like glue and something attached to her, so that's kind of unfortunate that it came out like that. But regardless, I do still really like this figure. I'm no longer a huge My Little Pony Friendship is Magic fan anymore. I used to be a huge fan of this show. But Fluttershy is my favorite of the main six. She looks great. She has the My Little Pony franchise on her hoof, the little logo there, and she does have her cutie mark of the butterflies. And last of my animated TV show characters that are not from this next franchise I'll show next, we have Pidge from Voltron. And Voltron is a great show as well. Pidge is my favorite of the Paladins, and she's looking great. I love her glasses. I love the details on her suit. She looks awesome. I kind of wish that she came with her little robot friend. That would have been sick. Finally, we have the last of my animated television show franchise Funko Pops, and that is all from the same fantastic, amazing series, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Of course, there's a renewed love and recognition for Avatar now that it's out on Netflix, and I am so glad. This is the best, probably one of the best written television shows of all time, not even just animated, like of all time. I can't say enough about how much I love this show. So of course, naturally, that being said, I had to own all of the Funko Pops for it, at least of the main characters. So first we have Aang. Yeah, he looks fantastic. I love like this like air whoosh, effects kind of part that he has on him. He looks really awesome. He's airbending. He has his little hover, I don't know what you call it, his little glider thing. And he does come with a mini pop of Momo, which is adorable. And I usually have him displayed like this with Momo kind of perched on his head. And next up, we have, of course, Katara. She also looks awesome, and she is waterbending. I think the water in particular looks awesome just because it's like translucent. It's really pretty. She has her little hair loopies. Yeah, the detail is fantastic on these Avatar Funko Pops. Next up, we have her fun-loving brother, Saka. This is a early version of Saka. I think all of these characters kind of are in their first appearance forms. So later on, Sokka's hair grows out a little bit, but he has his classic shaved head first appearance look. He has his boomerang. This is before he gets his sword, of course. And he looks great. Next up, we have Zuko, Prince Zuko, as he first appears. So, you know, before his whole, I don't want to give any spoilers, but his whole character development with his bald head and his little ponytail. But yeah, he looks great. He has his scar. Again, the effects part is looking fantastic. It's hard to tell with this camera, but this part is translucent, so that's really cool. And he is firebending, just as the other benders are doing their whole bending thing. Last but not least of our main gang, we have Toph, who also looks great. She is a little different from the other characters in that, like, this is her stand. Her effects part is her stand because, of course, she is an earthbender, and she is boom boom earthbending, looking awesome. They really got all the characters really well with the details. Like, just the way that they styled the hair and stuff, you can just tell that they gave attention to it, that it has character likeness, even though, you know, it has the classic, really simplified Funko Pop features. Last but not least of these guys, of my original Avatar Last Airbender pickups for Funko, we have Appa, and he's so cute with his little paws, look! Boop, boop, boop. Oh, so cute. Yeah, Appa looks great. I know they have different versions of Aang. It would be great if they came out with a Funko Pop ride for Appa. That would look awesome. Maybe they already announced it. Again, I'm not on top of my Funko news as much as I used to be. But I just think Appa looks great. He's so cute. Ooh, yes, with his little tongue sticking out. This is the bonus of the Avatar Last Airbender line and my most recent Funko Pop purchase. But boom! This is a convention exclusive. I don't remember what convention, but it is the Cabbage Man! My cabbages! And, you know, my friends showed me a link of just that this was being released, and I knew I had to have it. The Cabbage Man is one of my favorites. One of my favorite ongoing gags in Avatar: The Last Airbender. I just think the Cabbage Man is awesome. And here he is in all of his glory. He comes with his cabbage cart. The detailing, again, is great. Look at this. Like, the cabbages have texture and everything on them. And here he is, cradling his precious cabbage. Don't you dare hurt it, you evil, evil Avatar. But yes, here he is cradling his precious cabbage, the Cabbage Man. So moving from our American animated stuff into our Japanese anime, starting out, we have Sailor Moon. She is by far my least favorite of the Sailor Scouts, but, you know, you can't deny that Sailor Moon is iconic. So, you know, I'm not displeased to own her by any means. She does look great. This is an older Funko Pop. I'm not sure when this was released. It's not a new release by any means, but this is a Hot Topic exclusive, I believe. She's just holding her wand here. Classic Sailor Moon, not Eternal or any of the other later season Sailor Moons. But she comes on her stand, and she does come with a mini Funko Pop of Luna. She does not want to stand right now. Of Luna. And again, I think this is a Hot Topic exclusive version of Luna, but this is Luna with the Band-Aids when the kids were bullying her, and Sailor Moon ripped the Band-Aids off to reveal Luna's little crescent moon pattern. Again, Sailor Moon is not my favorite of the Sailor Scouts, but I am happy to own her because, you know, gotta have something to represent my love of Sailor Moon. Next up, we have One Punch! We do not have Saitama, we have Genos from One Punch Man. And shocking fun fact about this particular figure is that he was vaulted, meaning that this figure actually fetches some extremely high prices, which is kind of nuts because I bought this figure for like $8, like super cheap when Toys R Us was sadly going out of business. Genos was my last purchase from Toys R Us. Turns out he's now vaulted and hard to come by for a reasonable price, so that's pretty cool. I will not be getting rid of this figure anytime soon, especially since he is rare now. And last but not least, in my anime collection we have, I don't know if you would consider these anime, but I do have the 3 original Pokemon starters from Indigo League. The proportions are a little interesting that Bulbasaur's head is so much bigger than Charmander and Squirtle's, but yeah, I do have all 3 starters, and they're very cute, and I really like them a lot. I don't know how many more Pokemon Funko Pops I'm going to collect because they are starting to release like crazy, and obviously I'm not going to collect all of them. I am a Pokemon nerd, but I don't see myself collecting too many more of these. I probably will get an iteration of Pikachu just so I can have the complete 4 starters. But yeah, we have the 3 starters. And here they are close up individually. We have Squirtle. We have Bulbasaur. And we have Charmander, which actually the Charmander looks awesome. Again, love these translucent effects pieces that Funko does. And moving forward in the collection, we have our Star Wars Funko Pops. This is another franchise that you would think that I have more figures of than I do, but a lot of these were actually gifts. So starting out, we have, of course, BB-8, who's adorable. He is a bobblehead. All of these Star Wars and all of the Marvel Funko Pops are bobbleheads, which I'm honestly not a big fan of, but if that's what they need to do in order to get, you know, Star Wars and Marvel Funko Pops out there, I'd rather have them as bobbleheads than not at all. So, and it actually works really well with BB-8. He's really cute, as you can see. These Star Wars figures, interestingly enough, all come with like these really beefy, cool Star Wars stands that have like the Star Wars logo on it. So that's pretty neat. Next up, we have this flocked Chewbacca. This is a really nice figure. He is flocked, he is soft, and very nicely detailed. He has the goggles and everything. Really, really nice. I think this is from Solo. Yeah, I think this is the Chewbacca version from Solo, but he's really cute. He's a good Wookiee. And yep, comes again with that beefy, chunky stand. Next up in my Star Wars collection, we have Chirrut Imwe from Star Wars Rogue One, which is my favorite of the Star Wars movies, the recent ones that have come out. I think Rogue One is super underrated, and Chirrut Imwe is a really cool character, played by, of course, the legendary Donnie Yen. And nice figure. Again, the Star Wars figures are nice. There's a lot of good detailing going on, so yeah. Chirrut. And last, but certainly not least of my Star Wars figures, we have Ahsoka Tano from Star Wars Clone Wars. And you can see this is actually the Ahsoka from early Clone Wars, so she is a Padawan version of herself. You can tell by her outfit. Ahsoka's great. Yeah, she's just a really cool character. This figure actually is damaged. I think it had broken off of the stand with a peg hole broken off into her foot, and I super glued it back on. Something like that. I do remember at some point I had to repair this figure, so... Again, the Star Wars stand, and I like her lightsaber. Next up, we have my Harry Potter collection. So starting out, we have Hagrid. Sadly, something happened to my Hagrid. Ooh, he is missing his umbrella. And by missing, you can see I have it. I mean that it broke off. This is an easy fix, actually. I just have to use some super glue. As I'd mentioned with my Ahsoka, she had also broken at some point. So it's just a matter of getting around to fixing him, which I clearly have not done. But other than that, yeah, this Hagrid figure is very cool. He is a hefty, chonky boy. He is big. If I can set him down and you can just hear it. So there's the Funko Pop Hagrid. And then we have, I'm forgetting this guy's name, but this cute little Bowtruckle from Fantastic Beasts, which is a terrible movie franchise. Absolutely terrible. That's a whole other discussion if you guys want to get into that with me. But I do like the Fantastic Beasts creatures. I do really like the Niffler, and I really like the Bowtruckle. He's really cute. I, again, just forget his name, so I'm gonna put it in the YouTube video. I'll look it up, but yeah, this guy's really cool, and he's very delicate and tiny, in contrast to Hagrid, who's huge. He's cool. Again, I don't like Fantastic Beasts, but I just think this character is adorable, so had to pick him up. Next up, we have a couple of random movie things. First off, we have Imperator Furiosa from Mad Max Fury Road. I really liked this movie. I haven't rewatched it at all since the first viewing, but, you know, this is by far my favorite role that Charlize Theron has ever done. And you can just see the figure's really nice. A lot of good detail in here. I mean, like, look at just the way her clothes are and her arm and everything, and she's holding the steering wheel. And, I don't know, she just looks really badass. They did a really good job with the paint work, too. I mean, there's kind of like a nice gradation fade going on with her makeup. And then there's some smudge work and stuff. She's all dirty, looking real apocalyptic, and just really cool. And then I absolutely had to pick up this Xenomorph. I'm a huge fan of the Alien franchise. Really, I should say the first two movies, Alien and Aliens. Obviously, the Xenomorph is amazing. Absolutely love that this is a translucent piece. like over this skull piece at the top. I just think that looks so unbelievably cool. And he has nice silver teeth and silver detailing. Again, the sculpt work is really, really well done. It's very like delicate and intricate. And again, just the quality in Funko Pops now these days is crazy. Ignore these. These are little putties that I put on the bottom of my stand to make it stick to the shelf. But yeah, just an awesome, awesome looking figure. And now moving forward from miscellaneous things, we have some random TV show stuff, starting with, of course, boom, RuPaul's Drag Race. We have the one, the only, the legendary RuPaul Charles, and she is looking amazing. Yes, comes with the Drag Race flags. This is the classic RuPaul that you see at the beginning of every Drag Race intro sequence. And yeah, I just had to pick this up. And we have my two favorite characters from Parks and Recreation, which is my favorite television show ever. And that is, of course, Leslie Knope and Ron Swanson. So starting with Leslie, the thing with this figure that's kind of sad is, you hear that? Something is broken off inside of her head. It's kind of disturbing. So I don't know what it is that broke off inside of there. It clearly doesn't affect the figure itself, but yeah, that is something that's going on with this figure. She is holding, if you can see, it's crazy. Actually, the printing is amazing because you can see it. It says Pawnee on there. That's her book that she wrote about Pawnee. And, you know, she has her classic power suit going on with her heels. And again, surprisingly, like, there's good likeness here despite the limited amount of detail that you have with a Funko Pop. Next, speaking of likeness, is Ron Swanson, and this really does look like Ron Swanson. You can't miss it. It's the mustache, the facial expression. Funko really nailed this one out of the park. He is wearing, of course, no pun intended, his classic maroon sweater and slacks, and he's holding a cup of coffee and just looking awesome. Ron and Leslie. Last of my miscellaneous television figures, we have a Funko Pop ride. Bam! It's a hefty one. And that is, of course, Daenerys on Drogon. And this figure makes me sad because Game of Thrones just elicits so many feelings in me. This was my favorite all-time television show. Like, literally, I was obsessed with this show. I watched it religiously. And we all know that it did not end all that well. Yeah, so this is the television show that actually broke me, I feel like, as far as just being a fanatical television show freak, like just reining it in and waiting to see how it turns out, because man, this one was really disappointing. So it's a very polarizing figure, you could say. This is a really cool figure regardless. So we have Jogen. He is in a Funko Pop style, so he has like a bigger and large stylized head, and you can just see the details on this figure are really nice. I mean, look at all those scales and everything. So Funko did a great job. And Daenerys herself sits nicely on top of him, and she looks really cool. She is wearing her classic white gown. I thought this look was awesome on Daenerys, by the way, with her hair all braided up and just looking beautiful. Her pose is really awkward, but obviously it has to be awkward in order for her to sit comfortably here on Drogon. There's no incentive really to separate the two. They really are meant to be displayed together. And yeah, this is a really cool figure. And ending my Funko Pop collection, we have my Marvel Funko Pop collection, of which, you know, surprisingly, I have a nice little collection of Marvel characters. Again, these are all bobbleheads following in the suit of Star Wars. We have a good amount of Captain Marvel figures, and I actually don't know specifically why. For some reason, I just had a lot of hype around this movie, both before and after it came out, and I just think I went a little crazy with the Captain Marvel merchandise. So first, we have Captain Marvel, just the classic Captain Marvel, without her hood or anything like that, but really nice. Again, you know, Funko does a good job with all the detailing and stuff. You can see a lot of nice details on her costume, and the only thing that's unfortunate about this one is she kind of suffers from, this is why I don't like the bobbleheads as much, she suffers from like the whole weird head twisty thing that sometimes happens with your Funko bobbleheads. So her head is a little bit, you know, askew. It's something that you can fiddle with and get better, but that is unfortunate. Next, we have her cat. I'm forgetting, is this cat's name Goose? Yeah, it is. See, boop, it says on the name tag. But see, again, it's been a while since I've seen Captain Marvel. I already forgot the cat's name. But the kitty cat is very cute. So you have Goose right here. Next up, we have Maria Rambeau, Captain Marvel's best friend. Maria is wearing her Air Force uniform and looking really cool. Really fun to own the pair of them together. This is not a figure I would have necessarily picked up on my own, but it is nice to have her because I do have Captain Marvel. So yeah, Maria in her Air Force uniform. Last of my Captain Marvel figures, the one that I actually really like and am glad that I own in particular is, of course, Captain Marvel on her bike. And this is the third of my Funko Pop rides. I just really like motorcycles. Like, aesthetically, I think they look really cool. So you have Captain Marvel on her bike, and she looks awesome. I really liked this outfit in particular with like the leather jacket and everything, and yeah, Brie Larson was killing it, to be honest. She really was. There you have her. Last of my Marvel figures. First we have Baby Groot, who is absolutely adorable. I was obsessed with Baby Groot actually after the first Guardians movie came out. I just love this character. I just think he's so cute. I love Groot in general, but yeah, I would say Baby Groot is probably like my favorite iteration of Groot here. The only thing that's sad about this figure is that his head keeps popping off, but no harm, no foul, it just pops right back on. This is Rocket Raccoon, and you can hear his head is doing that whole thing too. The only thing about this figure as well is that he doesn't stand up too well, so that's kind of sad. This is a nice figure. It is an older figure, so these both came out, I believe, when the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie came out. But Rocket Raccoon is another one of my favorite Guardians characters. Him, Groot, and Star-Lord are my top 3. Next up in my Marvel characters, I had to own, after Into the Spider-Verse came out, I was obsessed with that movie. So I absolutely had to own both a Miles Morales and a Spider-Gwen. This is the iteration of Miles. He was so cute and so lost looking in this moment with his little fake Spider-Man costume here that is too short for him, and good detail on these shoes and everything. Yeah, he was adorable in this iteration. I think I would like to eventually pick up the Miles Morales version where he is decked out in his actual Spider-Man costume, but it is fun to own this version of him because this was a very memorable moment for me in the movie. Very vulnerable, and you know, he's just a perfect little cinnamon roll. We love Miles. And of course we have Gwen Stacy. We have Spider-Gwen, and this is probably my favorite iteration of Spider-Gwen. She's just really cool, and love her outfit. She has her ballet shoes on. She's killing it with her little pose and everything, and just looking really iconic. I don't know if the Funko Pop line had a version of Spider-Gwen that was unhooded. Well, this is unhooded. That was hooded, that had her full costume on. If they did, that would be another one to pick up. The last figure in my collection to show off is Shuri from Black Panther. I love Shuri. Yeah, she's my favorite of the Black Panther characters, and I still think she's probably one of my favorite Marvel characters, just in general. She's really cool. She's looking really awesome with all of her details and her face paint and everything. Her hair is looking amazing in particular, if you look at the back of that. Now that I'm like caught up on the Marvelverse movies, it would be nice to own some more Marvel Funko Pops, but I have been keeping my collecting down to kind of a modest state. And again, I have a sizable Funko Pop collection, as you guys can see from this video, but you know, I just collect the characters that I like, or I get gifted things. I'm not in a hurry or a rush to collect too many more Funko Pops, but this is my Funko Pop collection, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have been rambling for a while now. Thank you for staying tuned, and yeah, let me know if you want to see more collection videos. Honestly, I think the collection videos are a lot of fun to make, and I would love to make some more. I think it'd be fun to go through some of my other collections in the future, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, stay tuned. Thanks for being patient with me, as I haven't posted anything on this channel in forever, but I hope to make more videos in the future, and I will see you guys around, and stay tuned. See you guys later.